5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is Deducter bringing you set 6 of KT vs STX Day 3 Pro League Playoffs. In this game, we have Cal versus Crazy Hydra. Cal is the Protoss at 12, and Crazy Hydra rather, not Hydra. Very big difference between the two players. Crazy Hydra is the Zerg player at the 6 o'clock. Brown versus Teal. It looks like Teal Protoss, Brown Zerg. Anyway, STX does have a chance to redeem itself here. Cal having lost on the first day. And today, if he can beat Crazy Hydra, he will have redeemed himself and force an ace match. And things would be looking quite good then for STX. At least they would have a reasonable shot of advancing, although they would almost certainly have to come up against Flash, and it will be a tall order to beat Flash. Flash, with his injury though, seemingly less than invincible of late. He has not been nearly as dominant, but still making it into the OSL round of 16. So, I don't know. It's just that his games have been less than the awe-inspiring, how the hell did he win sort of sense. He has appeared more mortal in recent times. Nevertheless, Flash is still, I would argue, the favorite against almost any other player, perhaps, say, Jaedong. Spawning pool going down here, so this is an overpool coming out here from Crazy Hydra. Crazy Hydra, again, mediocre Zerg. As far as and those two girls, quite cute there. As I say, and not hiding the faces. As far as I'm concerned, most Zergs are mediocre. A nice little clever pylon block there. That's going to irritate Crazy Hydra. And perhaps Cal going to live up to his reputation here as a clever player. That could be something he's put down a forge. Maybe he will try a cannon rush. Hopefully this time he will execute it correctly. Hopefully this time he will practice it. I actually can't remember who executed it. Was it Cal? This is terrible memory here. Not quite able to steal the gas. I doubt that's what he wanted to do. So what you do is you put down a cannon, you put down a gateway to block, and I think this time Cal would be very smart to put down as many cannons as he can possibly afford, and just keep putting down cannons. This time, the key difference is Crazy Hydra has not managed to sneak any sort of unit out of his base. I don't remember what the two players were from the last time this happened, but there was a game very recently where this also happened. I'm almost 100% sure it was in day 1 of the Pro Leagues. Give me 1 second to and I am back here. Actually, it was in STX versus CJ where Paralyzed versus Sangdori. Paralyzed did this to relatively unknown Zerg player Sangdori, so this is not a wholly original strategy. Surely Protoss players have thought about this, but the key difference between this game, which I did not cast, that game, which I did not cast in this game, is that Sangdori managed to sneak a drone out and build a hatchery at the 11 o'clock, whereas in this particular game, Cal has managed to stop that, or rather I should say, there was no drone sent out. Cal would be wise to put down a few more cannons to ensure that this blockade, E-N-S-U-R-E by the way, to ensure that this blockade does not get broken. Second hatchery is going down here. This is certainly not hopeless for the Zerg player. He is free to sit in his base to do what he wants to be able to break out. Perhaps he might go for Hydralisk. That is what he is going for. Lurkers, I think, would also work out quite well. Lurkers to start sieging in front. Cal, though, has opted to put down his expansion, and he doesn't really want to defend at this position. It looks like Cal's probe is going to get taken out here. I'm not sure what I agree with this. In that game, Sangdori versus Paralyzed, Paralyzed had to contend with the hatchery at the 11 o'clock, and that was why he was ultimately unable to triumph. I think if the Protoss can keep this blockade up, they should be fine. Doesn't take necessarily that many cannons to do it, or rather that many resources. He'll be able to keep pumping probes, and once he's comfortable, he can put down the expansion. As it stands, Cal has opted to go for tech, it looks like. He's got his cybernetics core down. And these two, Hydralisk gonna try to snipe away at this gateway here. Very dangerous should the gateway go down. And only one Hydralisk able to hit. Oh, okay, with range upgrade, both Hydralisks can hit that gateway now. They will be able to break through sooner or later. I still feel that this is a mistake by Cal. He has gotten himself into a good position here. He should be able to force the ace match. I still think this is a very nice maneuver, but I don't know why he's chosen not to exploit this. If this goes down, the only option really for Crazy Hydra here is to break out and try to assault Cal before he can establish his Cal is opted to put down the Stargate at his natural, and to assault Cal before Cal can mass up any sort of forces. And I think Crazy Hydra should be able to accomplish this. Cal is going to lose the blockade here, it looks like, without it being contested. He has delayed Zerg expansion for some time, but I'm not completely sure whether this was worth it. Two of the Hydralisks looks like are going to go down, so that is a nice work there by Cal's solitary cannon. Cal has put down 2 cannons at his natural. I mean, there's no reason why he couldn't have built these buildings here, I feel. A lot of Zerglings are being massed up. Cal has spotted this. Cal, the Zerglings do have speed upgraded, and Cal would be wise to put down some more cannons. He's put down the cannons in his main. He's worried about Mulus, it looks like. And he's put down another cannon here. Looks like at the front, 2 cannons and 2 zealots. He doesn't have a gateway to build more units, I think. This could actually be an absolute disaster. Those 2 overlords, they have slow drop. I don't know. They are going to the main. And if those overlords have dropped, this could be an absolute disaster. Those 2 overlords do have dropped. And these Zerglings are going to come over and potentially be able to deal with the cannons here. I mean, I guess that was the other thing that... once you get layer, you can drop the Zerglings, slow drop them out of the Zerg base, but again, this would be fairly easy to defend. I guess the other danger is, of course, the blockade getting overrun from attack from the front and attack from the back, so perhaps holding blockade not the wisest move, but Crazy Hydra has actually gotten himself into an okay position now. Corsair going to be able to kill these overlords. It looks like the Hydra is going to do its best to ward off the Corsair. Slow drop into the main here. Cal forced to defend at 2 points. He's forced to put down cannons at the front. And there are lurkers being morphed here. Of course, they're going to come in, try to kill that overlord that is almost dead. If you can kill the overlord before the overlord unloads, nice move. Oh, the overlord unloading 1 Hydra. I don't think that'll be too bad. But nevertheless, nice maneuver here by Cal. He's going to sacrifice the Corsair, it looks like, to finish off the second overlord. That is probably the correct decision there. And going to send the... So I guess, looks like Cal is going to be able to force an ace match. Unless Crazy Hydra can get it done with the units he has here. He has a lurker that he can siege up to try to stop some of the burrow, rather, to stop some of these probes from mining. He's also trying to assault the natural here with the lings and his second lurker. He might be able to get position here. Probes are doing their best to blockade. Looks like this lurker is going to go down, and all the lings going to go down. I think this is going to be over. Cal has forced the next match. Good for him. And it will be a tough order here for Crazy Hydra, I feel, to deal with this. Observatory is going to be out. Although I guess maybe things are not completely hopeless. The one key thing is, where is the gateway that Crazy Hydra actually needs? I mean, Cal actually needs to build units with. He maybe has 1 gateway at the natural, but... he is going to be denied mining from his main for some time. He doesn't have a gateway at the natural. He's going to be delayed mining at his main forever because he just doesn't have anything to build units with, it looks like. So, Crazy Hydra may not be in such a desperate position, although he is going to be forced to unload his units from these slow overlords here. Crazy Hydra has opted not to expand. This is reminiscent of games from 2001, I have to say. Well, not quite. Protoss is on 2 bases, Zerg on 1. Well, Protoss is actually really only on 1 basis, considering the main is not mining at all. These probes and the Zealot going to come in to try to deal with the Hydralisks. That Overlord dropping a few Zerglings, and this Overlord going to drop, looks like 2 Hydralisks. So, 2 Hydralisks going to fight its best against these probes, it looks like, and that Overlord dropping the Hydra again, going to go down. Both Corsairs are dead, it looks like. The Lurker being morphed. Overlord speed is finished, and these Hydralisks not quite able to get range. There are a lot more Overlords coming up. And Cal, why has he not built a gateway during this entire time? What exactly has he been doing with his resources? I wonder. I really wonder. I also don't see another Corsair coming out. So, baffling play by Cal. His economy surely couldn't have been that damaged by that Lurker in the back. And he's going for Reavers. I am still completely baffled by Cal's play here. He's got an Observer now, but he has nothing with which to actually kill the Lurker. Does he, like, forgot he doesn't have gateways or something? There's a drop here coming at the natural, and Cal may very well be throwing this game away due to inexplicable blindness. He's actually fended off the initial attacks of Crazy Hydra. He was fine. He's gotten a single Reaver out, but this Reaver doesn't even have Scarabs. Is going to try its best to pick off his Lurker. Lurker going up there into the Overlord for defense, reminiscent perhaps of Yellow versus Bisou. You can see that cute micro there. Hilarious. The Hydra being dropped out of the Overlord to snipe away at the units. This is absolutely hilarious, to say. This is almost Yellow versus Bisou, although not quite the same example. Good micro by Crazy Hydra. He has astonished me this game with his Overlord Hydraless micro. I never thought I would hear the words Overlord Hydraless micro. But, wow, outside of like one game a year, this is, I guess, that game for the year. Not quite Yellow versus Bisou, of course. Yellow famously using slow drops on Bisou's Reavers and taking them out, sniping that Observer. Very nice work. I mean, this has got to take props for the best Overlord Hydraless micro in recent memory for any pro gamer, really. It's just that you never have an opportunity to do something like this. And what has Cal been doing this time? He's finally got a gateway up. And his economy seems to have been damaged almost beyond repair by one lurker in the back. One measly little lurker. He's still got that lurker in the back. What? Cal has... this is utterly baffling. Cal... maybe he has actually suffered some sort of stroke in the game. This is the only possible explanation I can have. Crazy Hydra is doing what he can. He's actually, fighting hard in this game, whereas Cal is just utterly baffling what he's been trying to do this entire game. I have no idea. Cal gonna be able to snipe some more Overlords here. That is something. Crazy Hydra has managed to get his natural up. And Cal, has he cleared that lurker from his main out yet? I'm not sure he has actually managed to do that. Does he think like he would win the game because he was so far ahead at that point? He has not cleared the lurker out. He's got an observer out. He's going to move out so slowly to deal with this. I really don't know what Cal is doing. He has literally thrown his game away. This could not be a more egregious example of how to fail in PvZ or how to throw away a lead. After he stopped that first slow drop, I think he was in prime position to win the game. He had 2 bases and Zerg's 1. 2 bases that he could saturate with probes. He had his robotics facility down, which get the observatory to deal with the lurkers. And if he had put down like 2 gateways in the interim, he would be able to get some sort of units out. Like 1 Dragoon without range would be able to deal with that lurker. This lurker finally getting taken out here by Observer, 3 Zealots, and a Reaver. That's all he needed. And Crazy Hydra would be able to do nothing to counterattack. Absolutely nothing. And Cal can then use what units he has to stop Crazy Hydra from putting down a natural, or failing that. Even if Crazy Hydra got his natural up, Cal would be fine sitting pretty on 2 bases, able to build up the Protoss army. Cal coming in here for harass. There are a lot of Scourge out to deal with this Shadow, which has speed. Cal has gotten Shadow speed. It looks like Cal is going to lose his 2 Corsairs, that the only Corsairs he has left. Maybe this one might survive. Cal able to survive with 1 Corsair. So is that what he spent his resources on during all this time? Upgrading Shadow speed? I don't know. He's finally gotten his mining at the main base back, but the game has, to some extent, reset now. Crazy Hydra with his 3rd base up. Perhaps Cal still has somewhat of an advantage. He didn't lose too many probes, despite the fact that he lost minutes in mining time. KT player is looking anxiously there, I have to say, at the screen. Surely they're perhaps a bit surprised, and STX player is not looking too good, looking a bit somber perhaps. Startled, I'm sure, as to how Cal could possibly not have won already. Cal going to lose his Overlord. I mean, not Cal, Crazy Hazard going to lose the Overlord there to a snipe. But again, I don't think he's going to care too much in this Forge at the front, getting picked away by 1 Hydraless. I mean, 1 Ultraless. I mean, 1 Lurker. Sorry, I am just completely out of this game because I do not know why I'm still commentating at this point. The game should have been over. There is an Observer and a Shadow out with Reavers to try to clean up these Lurkers. That's what Cal has been doing. Has Cal decided that he wants to go Corsair Reaver? Is that what happens here? The Observer getting taken out here, because this is oddly reminiscent of Corsair Reaver. He's gotten Shadow Speed. He's gotten Corsairs, although no +1 attack, probably because he couldn't afford it. He's gotten a lot of Reavers and very few ground units and all sorts of cannons at the front. That is sort of Corsair Reaver build. So that girl is as confused as I am. That's how I'm feeling. I mean, if there's an expression, obviously I am not a girl, but my facial expression resembles that girl's right there. Why is this game still going on? How could Cal have possibly thrown away the lead that he has? Has he just gotten it into his head? And that girl again looking quite bored, maybe even. These Corsairs are going to do well against the Scourge there. The Corsairs are huddling around the cannon. Crazy Hydra has opted to expand. He is going to go up to 4 bases soon enough. Crazy Hydra sniping Observer there. So Cal, maybe he got it in his mind that this is the game I'm going to play. I'm going to blockade the Zerg player in the front, allow him to break out. In the meantime, I'll have gotten my Corsair Reaver build fully set up, with which I will use to crush the Zerg player. And that's the plan, and he's sort of stuck to it ever since. Now he's putting down all sorts of gateways, finally, when he's built up a decent force of Corsairs and Reavers. Well, actually, that can be a good maneuver. But one thing about Corsair Reaver is the Protoss actually has to get something done with it. They have to attack the Zerg and do damage. Crazy Hydra looks like he's responding quite well. He's putting down 2 more hatcheries there, and with his 4th base up, one response to Corsair Reaver by Zerg, of course, is just to build bases everywhere on the map and get out so many units that the Protoss is incapable of coping with it. The other, I think the better approach is to seize air superiority here. That is the Crazy Hydra does have a lot of Scourge and Meatless there. It looks like the Overlord is going to spot this Shadow. The Shadow is going to be warded away, perhaps, by these Hydralisks and morphing some Lurkers just to buy time. Kind of clever, I have to say, by Crazy Hydra there. Nice little maneuver, buying time for his Air Force to come in. This could be a complete disaster. Looks like the Scourge are going to take out a decent number of Corsairs, but critically enough Corsairs survive. That Crazy Hydra is going to be forced back here. He is going to spot this second Shadow coming into the main here. There are probably a Reaver, but not going to be able to unload from that Shadow. Scourge, single Scourge getting sent out to deal with that. Cal would be wise to recall his Shadow to his base now. Some more battles in the middle of the map here. Corsairs trying to take out what Overlords they can, but suffering losses in the meantime. Shadow in the north there looks like might be going for attack at the 9 o'clock base. This Shadow going to get sniped. A solitary DT dropping, but not going to do anything. Cal really stymied there. Cal not looking too pleased, I have to say. This Shadow coming in for a drop. There are Templar in there. High Templar, 2 High Templar. Good storm drop here. So that is something. And now Cal's Shadow fleet, Corsair fleet on the withdrawal, and that Shadow getting picked off here. The Scourge is going to spot all these new gateways. And Cal has just played an absolutely baffling game. I do not know what he is doing. It was like he had thought once he put down the blockade, he could not possibly lose. And I agree. Once he put down the blockade and reinforced it, he would be in prime position to win. The only real danger is some sort of Zerg drop. And that might be more difficult to deal with, perhaps. But with a few cannons around the main, and in the interim, building up a force of Corsairs, I don't think there was much the Zerg could do. I mean, the Zerg would be forced to ferry units over with his Overlords that or get mealless, either of which will be countered by Corsairs. And, sure, one base Protoss is not a lot of resources, but still, massive attack here coming in by Crazy Hydra, it looks like. He would probably be wise not to push his luck. There are enough defenses there. He just wanted to kill the Forge, rather. That is fine. Crazy Hydra going to send his forces back, and now Cal is going to kill his Stargate because he's decided he doesn't want Corsairs, or more likely he wants to be able to actually move out of his base. Rather, Stargate was used as the blockading building there. Again, baffling game. One of the most confusing games of StarCraft I've ever watched. Crazy Hydra hasn't been playing a weird manner. He's sort of played well, I have to say, responding to that little blockade in the front at the beginning pretty well here. Whereas Cal looks almost like a player from 2002 thrust into the modern age, a dinosaur if you would. Nice sniping with those Mealists there, but now they've taken too much damage and are forced to withdraw. There are enough Templar and a Shadow left over for Cal for him to do something, but for now Crazy Hydra has been mining on 4 bases for several minutes now, it looks like. Crazy Hydra also has been very good about sniping observers. That is very nice there. Cal has loaded up his Reavers, it seems, and he is going to finally push out of his base with a ground army. And Crazy Hydra has his own ground army here to oppose Cal's push, and let's see how this goes. If Cal can win this battle, he'll be fine. But if he can't, and that Reaver getting, that Shadow getting sniped, things going absolutely wrong here. Observer again getting sniped at the front. There is second Observer going down. Things are not looking too good here. That Shadow has very few HP left. Nihilist may opt to dive in and just finish the Shadow off. And without the Shadow, the Reavers will be useless. The other Shadow, possibly carrying 2 Reavers, that is an absolute disaster here for Cal. And Cal seems to be the dinosaur. Resurrected like in Jurassic Park, although nowhere near as menacing. Not the Velociraptor, he is more like that Bronchiosaurus, I have to say. As an attack here coming in by Crazy Hydra. Great surround attack, I have to say. The Storm's doing a lot of damage for Cal. That is good. Crazy Hydra just has so many more units. Gonna overrun the Protoss defenders. This is surely GG coming from Cal very soon. He might opt to hold out for a bit more because this is the Pro League Playoffs, but he is going to be starved out here soon enough. Crazy Hydra really winning more by the weight of his numbers than anything else. There were some nice storms cast by Cal. Again, this is going to go down as one of the more baffling games of StarCraft this entire season. Crazy Hydra, I think, was played fine. He is now dropping Cal's main. This will surely force a GG. Crazy Hydra is sniping the pylons, but there are enough pylons that he's probably better off killing the gateways. Cal, does he even not have Zealot speed? He doesn't even have Zealot speed. This is just, I don't know what to say. Completely inexplicable play by Cal. Perhaps he's had some sort of stroke. That's the only thing I can do to explain this game, this baffling performance, utterly poor performance by Cal here. And Cal, I mean, he's better off GGing, saving himself the embarrassment is better than what he can do in trying to trying to fight back what Zerg units he can. He is going to lose this game, and at this point, Crazy Hydra, I feel, would be better off starting to build a dozen Ultralists and then consuming them with Defilers just to show his contempt here against Cal. Looks like Crazy Hydra, though, is just going to continue with his drops and finish Cal off that way. Archon out, and what Dragoons and Archons there are going to do their best to fight this off. GG finally coming out from Cal. Great game, I have to say, by Crazy Hydra. In the face of adversity, he played well. Cal deserves to lose. I have no sympathy for him this game. I don't care if viewers here are Cal fans. Surely even the most ardent Cal fans would have to agree that he played a bizarre game of StarCraft. I think personally that he played poorly. He deserves to lose. And STX deserves to lose if this is the sort of player they're putting out here. Although admittedly, the rest of their players actually have been pretty good and not so inconsistent. Just Cal. Anyway, KT is going to go on to face whoever wins Woonjing versus Samsung, so that'll be something to watch. Thank you for watching this series.